Step one, plan. Okay. Pick up the calendar or make a calendar. I do that. Just take a pen and paper, Monday to Saturday, write all the dates for a month. And if you need a plan for next month. What people do is I'm sitting on my laptop today and I don't know what I should post.
Hi, folks. Good evening to every one of you, and probably as per your timings that you're seeing this video at. My name is Hanuj. I'm CEO and co-founder at Miho. Miho is basically a platform that helps knowledge entrepreneurs to create, grow, and manage online businesses. We run this initiative called Make It Happen Online podcast, where we help knowledge entrepreneurs like you to create and pave through the journey by talking to entrepreneurs who have done that already. Today we have Suman Kher on call. She has been a soft skills trainer all her life in her career, and she is now transitioning to becoming an online entrepreneur, where she will be doing a lot of courses with a lot of people out there. She already has one course live. I'll let her talk more about what she has been doing and where she is moving towards. And yeah, over to you, Suman. Yeah.
Hi, Anush. Thank you so much for having me. It's such a great pleasure. It feels like, yay, I finally arrived, sort of a thing, where people are like, hey, would you like to talk about your journey? And I think it's fantastic because people who've already made it are the ones who are going to help people who are still struggling with it. I have gone ahead and spoken to and enrolled in a lot of courses from coaches who've already done it. So I think that is one of the best ways to go out there and learn. And I'm glad that I get the opportunity to share my experience with everybody out there. And I look forward to your questions, through which you can get information about what are the things that your audience would like to know. If I can introduce myself now, my name is Suman Kher. I'm not related to Anupam Kher, and so I'm a soft skills and communication trainer. I have done this for about 2 decades now in so many different ways because the world has changed in 20 years, more so in the last 5, 7 years. So I'm literally like a dinosaur, based on when I started and where I am today. And I avoid telling people when I started because most of the people I talk to are like, oh, I was in school at that time. And I was like, okay, no more mentioning the years. But yes, if it is 20 years, yes, 2022, I completed a whole 2 decades. Uh, I'm a postgraduate in English literature, and after doing 5 years of literature, I was like, I am done. I cannot go back and teach Shakespeare for the rest of my life. Okay. I think you need to do something before you realize that's not for me. And I knew that my career had to be something related to people, to something, in public. I couldn't really see myself sitting behind a screen and maybe do content writing. That is a big thing at that time. So I figured it has to do something with people. And by chance, somebody gave me a flyer of CAT coaching, which is coaching people for MBA entrance exams. And I said, hey, I'm looking at teaching. And since I don't have a BEd, I can't go to schools, obviously. So I went and I gave interview in a couple of places. And I think they were impressed with the fact that I could decently answer the English section of a CAT sample paper. I wouldn't touch maths and DI even today, but they were like, oh, okay, yeah, you got majority of the questions, right. Okay, let's get started. And I was actually rejected in my first interview because it was so hard for me to explain the grammar concepts. I mean, I knew why it's like that, but I couldn't go back and explain. But then, yes, the person was really nice enough to let me sit in classes, learn how the industry works. And that's when I dug really, really deep into building my grammar, my vocabulary, my reading comprehension. Because if students asked me for a word meaning in class, I couldn't tell them, oh, I don't know that, because that would really affect my credibility as a trainer. So I really went out there and worked on my foundations. And I truly realized that language and communication are really something that I love to do. I still have those notebooks, where I've written words and meanings and sentences, examples, and everything. So I thought, yes, this is something that I really want to do. I worked for full time for 5 years in Delhi, and then I moved to Mumbai in 2007. I took a year's break or so. And then I realized that, in fact, my spouse asked me, what is it that you really want to do in this new phase of your life? And I realized I always wanted to train corporates. I wanted to move away from core language training and do something else. So then I went to Naukri.com and I uploaded my resume there. I didn't know anybody. And it took about 6 months or so by when I used that time to do a lot of content writing because I love writing for the love of it. So I went and I said, okay, what to do? Let's write for different people. I wrote a lot of product descriptions for eBay. I helped somebody rewrite a book on wedding planning. So pretty exciting work. But 2009, somebody got in touch and they said, okay, we need corporate training done. And I got started over there. This is between 2009 and 2013 when social media was just kind of beginning in 2013, 14. So I did that. I worked for consultants. I got paid peanuts, but I was like, okay, this is how you do it. And I took every opportunity that came my way, which I think is very important as a newcomer, because I wanted to have those names in my resume. I couldn't really be picky. So even if somebody said $4,500 for a day, but for Godrej and Boys, I would say, okay, done. Reliance Energy, fine. Okay, so that's how I built my resume. And by 2013, I realized that the world is really going online. A lot of my trainer friends are putting photos on Facebook. They're talking about their work, and it seems like they're doing so much of work, whereas I didn't have any photos of my training programs. And I realized that I was not happy working for consultants because I couldn't really control the kind of work that I get and what I get paid. At the same time, I could sense that there is a new wave coming up of online presence where when you're out there posting pictures, people can really see what you're doing. And in 2014, I started a company called Soft Skills Studio. I turned into an entrepreneur. Again, I had no clue how entrepreneurship works, but I was like, if I need to get work, I need to go out there and get noticed. Nobody's going to come home and give me work. That was the nature of work that was gradually working out, right? So the first thing I did is I set my blog, sumankher.com, because I wanted that to be my prime virtual real estate, that and everything would converge over there, because I was on Facebook, on Twitter, I had an account on LinkedIn. I wasn't very good at it, but I was like, this is my space, and I built that very professionally, from professional wardrobe to professionally shot headshots, because the dimensions and what do you call it? It looks very nice. It's not a stretched iPhone photo, right? So the dimensions and the resolution. Sorry, that's what I'm looking at. Okay, that turned out really good. So that was good. Apart from that, I also ensured that I got myself certified from time to time. I have trained the trainer from Dale Carnegie. That was a huge learning, in becoming a corporate trainer. Gradually, I also got an advanced train the trainer from I'm Indore. And in 2015-16, I was ready to do one-on-one. So I got myself certified as a coach from Ericsson International. So you can see that thread also kept going on. And I think in the last 2 3 years, things have changed so much for me. I've been solely on LinkedIn. I understood that if my target audience is professional corporate people, then that's where I need to be. And even in the last 8 years, I've really rolled with the times and done so many different things. And thanks to my online presence in 2020, my business was ready for the tipping point. And whoever was looking for communication coach could find me on LinkedIn, because I'd been consistently posting for 2 years since then. And one-on-one is also something on top of my list of services that I provide. And like I mentioned, I am building digital courses now and taking it ahead. I don't know what else you'd like to know. And LinkedIn, of course, noticed me. I was in the Creator Accelerator program last year. I'm the top voice this year, and I'm also part of the Campus Knowledge program this year. So yes, trainer, entrepreneur, LinkedIn influencer. I think that sums it up.
I have a lot of questions now already.
Cool.
Yeah,
Shoot.
sure. So, Suman, what made you how did you get your first client as a soft skills trainer individually? Like, who was the first client and how did you
As
get
a corporate,
as a corporate or as an individual where you made decent bucks in whatever terms you would want to measure
so
that?
my very first assignment was for a pediatric nutrition company here in Mumbai called Meet Johnson. They might have found me on Naukri, I'm not really sure, but it was a 6 month intervention where they wanted me to coach their medical representatives to talk to the doctors well, connect with them, build rapport, and get them to consider their products. And it also had some language associated with it. So it was a mix of both language and corporate training, something that I knew and something that I could learn. So that was my first assignment.
Okay, okay. And I can definitely say that you would have increased the range of audience, like say MRs to students to a person like me who would who knows some part of it and may not know some part of it, which is the toughest, right? Like if somebody comes to train me, I might be resistant to a lot of things. Having said that, I know some part of it. That's why I will be like, in our language, we are like somebody who is half knowledge is worse than somebody who doesn't have any knowledge.
Yeah.
So, how did you, how would you differentiate your audience based on that? I'm asking this question because if you go digital, you'll have to define your audience. So, how do
Yes.
you go about dealing with different types of clients? You can talk about the weirdest one if in case you want to, and then narrowing it down to some certain set of audience.
So broadly, for me, there are two, three kinds of target audiences that I've catered to.
Hmm.
College kids, yes, that is one big emerging thing. Like with the Indian Knowledge Program, even LinkedIn is focusing a lot on them. But as a business person, one college assignment, to coach students, you need a lot of resources. I would probably need like a pool of 6 trainers so that I can send them to different colleges. Plus,
Hmm.
colleges don't pay well. Okay, because they have those budgets and they need to get
The
approvals,
most,
etc. Okay,
yeah.
so it's not, and to me, it's not as challenging anymore. After 20 years, I think I would rather, I don't want to go out there and teach basic interview skills and basic soft skills every day. I don't want to do that. So I explore that market and I'm not really sure. I do want to consider creating digital courses for students because that demographic is very in with on demand video courses. Okay, they will really watch the entire thing and it's so easy for them to learn online, right? The second and the main target audience for me is all the corporate professionals starting from 1 to 3 years of experience to all the way to 20, 25 years of experience. Of course, pretty much a whole lot of people. And even during my corporate training days, we had a lot of branch managers and CEOs, the heads of departments sitting in there because they also wanted to know what everybody's getting trained on. So to me, right now, mainly is 5 to 15, 20 years of experience. That's the main target audience. But yes, when it comes to, like you said, if I make digital courses, I need to say, who do I make it for? Yes, it's going to be like basic, intermediate, advanced. Probably that's how one would look at. So somebody with 15 years of experience would not really want the basic courses. They may straight away go ahead and explore the advanced courses and say, okay, what's in it for me in terms of, say, executive presence? Or how do I use my body language and nonverbal cues to project that impact with my stakeholders and investors? So that would be advanced. Basic or intermediate, again with soft skills and communication, there are a lot of topics that people want to learn about. For instance, how to write and deliver a great one-line pitch, something as simple as how to introduce yourself. Okay, those could be basic, but they could help students, they could help new professionals, it could help anybody between 0 to 5 years of experience, right? So that's how I'm trying to differentiate. However, my core audience would be professionals, and my group coaching and my one-on-one coaching would basically be focused on corporate training, where the kind of skills that you need are structuring your thoughts, building your vocabulary, how to use voice modulation and vocal variety in order to project that impact. A lot of virtual presence because a whole lot of people are still working on hybrid and they don't know who's on the other side of the camera. So I work a lot on virtual presence as well. So these are things that can be modules in themselves to help anybody, because if I say virtual presence, I'll cover the basics and I'm also going to cover how to be effective with, say, stakeholders and your customers at the other end. So that pretty much covers all the target audience in the whole range of professionals.
Okay. Okay. Uh, Fair enough. So I understood the target audience are three different folks and stuff like that. But if in case I were to talk about one weirdest request that you got offline, what would it be like? A weirdest training request?
but yeah, I had a student talk to me and he said, I want to learn how to talk to girls. He was a college student. And I that got me thinking, and I said, I don't really coach in that, but I can see how uh, his idea of self-esteem and self-confidence was connected with that. That why can't I talk to girls as a teenager when my friends can? So I think that really comes to mind.
So I asked this question to understand how do you plan to, like, what are your thoughts on the drawbacks that online would have, or say what are the things that you think that you won't be able to do online that you did offline
As a trainer or as somebody who wants to learn?
as a trainer?
I think as a trainer, number one, a lot of personal engagement is missing because I'm the one sitting in front of the camera and delivering. It's more one way. And even on in virtual sessions, I really love how I can use chat to engage with people, get them to ask questions, right? So that is definitely missing. And I think that is probably one big thing that would be missing with
Okay.
online courses.
Okay. So coming to your online journey, now we understood what you did offline and stuff like that. Now coming to your online journey, the question that I would have is, how can you be so consistent for over 2 years on LinkedIn? Like, tell me tip one, two, three for that, probably.
Wow, it's actually 2018 is when I started. So this is my fifth running year. And I think that is the
And
most
how,
common
what is the frequency that you post at?
four, 5 times,
5 times a week?
6 times a week. Yes, yes, a week, a
I'm
week.
not able to post a once a month also. Like, how do you
Yeah,
do?
it's not a joke. I've given more time to LinkedIn in the last 5 years than I have my marriage, but my marriage is fine. Don't worry. Okay, but I have this obsession about being out there. In fact, I have to tell my intern to watch out and just drag me away from that and say, shoo, shoo, okay, I'll take her to social media, you work on your courses. So right now, I think I'm ready with my content for Feb and March. And today I'm going to I have my scripts ready, so I'm going to finish recording today since I'm all decked up. So I'm going to do all the short videos for LinkedIn. We plug that in, and I think I should be done till March end. So yeah, that comes with experience. 5 years,
But how
yes.
do you like if I am somebody who's starting out, what are the few things that you would want me to keep in mind before even getting started, and then how to get started with it?
Yes. Step one, plan. Okay. Pick up the calendar or make a calendar. I do that. Just take a pen and paper, Monday to Saturday, write all the dates for a month. And if you need a plan for next month. What people do is I'm sitting on my laptop today and I don't know what I should post. Okay, I didn't really learn social media planning, etc., in this kind of an environment. I learned way back in 2013, 14, when I used to sit and read for 8 hours, 9 hours a day, Google, and understand what personal branding is. How do you create a personal brand? How do you create content? What kind of formats can you create in? What is repurposing? So I kind of sat and did the whole range of blogging, SEO, keywords. I had to learn everything afresh because that was a new world, right? So I remember from uh, July 2014 to December 2014, I did nothing but learn. I started my blog in September 2014, but I made it live only in January the following year because I wanted to have enough blog posts. If somebody comes, I need them to see at least 10 blog posts. And there again, I started mainly with a student kind of a focus, but then moved on to something else. Of course, it's evolved over the years, but I had to learn all these things. And um, I still have this huge drawing book that I had made in 2014, 15, where I have the days of the week and I would put post-its saying, what am I going to post? And if I change, I would remove the post-it and put something else. Okay. So step number one, pick up the calendar and plan. Okay. Uh, so if I just simply create a plan for somebody in a month, okay, uh, if you aim at 12 posts, it's
Hmm.
just 3 times a week.
Yeah.
It's just 3 times a week. Okay. In fact, commenting is bigger than creating content, which hopefully you will ask me later and I can throw light on that. So number one, plan. So if you want to post 4 times a week, it's just 16 posts. Okay. If you choose 4 text posts, 4 images, 4 videos, and maybe you want to share 4 TED Talks or articles, your main structure is done. Okay. It's very important also for you to make a list of 20, 30, 40 things that you can share with people. Is
And
it
what
for
are your
personal
top?
branding? Is it for creation? Thanks to ChatGPT, I have like 500 questions that people are asking online about soft skills and communication. For instance, when it comes to public speaking, right? Top 10 questions. So you look at your sub niche, public speaking, top 10 questions. Verbal communication, top 10. Presentation skills, top 10. Virtual presence, top 10. Voice modulation, top 10. Building vocabulary, top 10. There you go. You have 50 questions right there, right? Because it also depends on your aim of being online. Do you want to just collect followers and views? Do you have business goals like I do? Are you just experimenting? Okay, so it also depends on what you want to share, right? So number one is you prepare this content plan, and based on the ideas that you have, you can plug them in, and you batch create content. Okay, so the way I used to do for a long time, Tuesdays I would share hashtag Tuesday tips. I was big on Twitter at one point in time. I was addicted, so that's where I got a lot of content from there too. So Tuesdays would be Tuesday tips. Wednesdays would be videos. Thursdays would be Throwback Thursday, where I share something from the past. Friday for a bit, I used to do book recommendations. Now we are doing carousels because people have more time to look at images. Okay, so if you have something like that for an entire month, you need 4 tips, 4 videos, 4 photos for Throwback Thursdays, and 4 maybe book recommendations, or if you want to share, okay, TED Talks that I love, anything. Okay, so let's look at thrice a week. So you're already done. You're done with a tip, you're done with a video, okay? And then based on the topic, you just batch write content. So if you need to write 4 text posts, it'll get done in under an hour, right? And then you have things like Pablo, Hootsuite, Buffer. If there was no scheduling, I think I wouldn't have a life, right? And thanks to LinkedIn, we actually have auto captions on LinkedIn now. We have scheduling on LinkedIn now, right? So that's just made life so much easier. Okay, so you plan and you plug in that content, all right. And it also has to meet a particular goal, is what I'm trying to say, gradually. Okay, I've come to that phase now. You need to have a goal. You could tell 4 different stories, but what what do you, it's not creating content for the heck of it. Are you trying to teach people something? Are you trying to entertain, educate? Is there a business goal? Is there a call to action that says you might get stuck in your presentation, so you need to click on my ebook and download today? That's a business goal, right? So you're getting emails out of it. So step one, create the plan. Step two, batch create content. It's 1 minute video. Fine. You have 4 topics. Think of the script, rehearse a little, and record it. Okay. 4 photos, 4 stories for Throwback Thursday if you want to do that, right? And there are tons of formats, from text post, image post, newsletters, carousels, videos, polls, right? At least 7 formats that you can use in order to create the same post. If it is harder, you could pick one topic, create one video on it, tell a story on the same topic, create images on the same topic, because people consume content in different ways. Not everybody might read the text, not everybody might want to watch a video. So someone who missed the video could look at the carousel, somebody who missed that could, okay? So different smart ways of ensuring the same kind of content can get repurposed. So make your plan, batch write content, schedule it. Does that make sense?
Yep, yep. Which one was one of your most viral post that you would want to talk about?
So last year there was a post that hit almost 10,000 views. I don't know if that is big or small in the grand scheme of things, but to me that definitely went viral. This was on the prompt hashtag create at LinkedIn that we were asked to create on about as a part of Creator Accelerator program. And through the Accelerator program, I also learned storytelling a little bit. I was very trainer sort of a person, who would just go out there and give tips and talk about do this and do that. So that kind of got me to explore the storytelling thing and how to like shock your audience, right? So create on LinkedIn was supposed to be why you create on LinkedIn. And I started my story with I hate LinkedIn. And I truly did, because till 2018, I had no clue. Then I got connected with someone who taught me the ropes, and that completely changed the entire game. Okay. So I started with I hate LinkedIn, and I truly do. And then I wrote what the situation was before, where I had no views, I had no comments, I didn't know anybody because I didn't know how LinkedIn works. Facebook, you know everybody, right? So I would come to
Yeah.
LinkedIn and say, but I don't know anybody, right? Why do I comment on their posts? Okay. And then how, I learned from somebody, and I understood the art of commenting, posting, creating content, planning, scheduling, and that kind of completely turned things around for me, where 2020, my major source of business was LinkedIn and Google, sitting right here at home during the pandemic. So that is the story of how I hated it, and then I learned it, and like a true happy ending, how LinkedIn and I are best of friends now.
And if I may ask, what is the biggest client that you have closed because of just LinkedIn
Ooh. Do you mean in terms of money?
in terms of money?
I don't think I want to reveal that.
No, no, you can just tell me figures like 5 figure, 4 figure, 6 figures.
5 figures for sure, because LinkedIn did get me people from across the world, and people who live abroad don't really mind paying in dollars.
5 figure USD,
Definitely 5 figures.
5 figure USD or 5 figure INR?
5 figure INR.
No, since you're going online now, you can also talk in USD. That's for sure.
Yes, yes, I will, I guess, because I'm getting a lot of traction from people abroad now.
Yeah,
So, because of a new technique that I have learned, but yeah,
fair enough.
maybe I will.
So we talked about your journey from being an offline creator to in 2020, 2018 starting as in LinkedIn as a primary source of marketing, growing it at a scale, being
Yeah.
part of LinkedIn content creator camp, and also being LinkedIn super voice and stuff like that. Now, when did you think of start creating an online course, and what was the first thought behind that?
I think I've had this idea for some time now. It mainly started last year, because 2020 and 21, we were still figuring out what happened. The pandemic came and went, and it took me a while to realize that, corporate training has always been hard. The
Yeah,
closing cycle is anywhere between 2 to 3 months.
yeah,
And I realized that corporates are still not very open to online coaching, online training, because you can't do 8 hours of online training. And you can't, even during the pandemic, like 2020, 21, they were not very open to, okay, you're going to do a 2 hour session and you're going to do over 5 weekends. Somehow that didn't catch on with them. And I think just like 2013, 14 was a watershed moment for me in my career, when I realized that I don't want to depend on consultants. I think, again, 2022 was one such moment when I realized that there is scope of work, even without having to depend on corporates, without having to run after them, create proposals, pitch it to them. It may work, it may not work, right? So while that is definitely an option, I also realize that corporate work is not going to come as it used to pre-pandemic, because pre-pandemic everybody knew 8 hour training programs. That was the norm. So when you go ahead, you pitch it, you close it, you get it. Okay, this wasn't still happening because people are still working in different parts of the country. A whole lot of organizations still have hybrid. So doing an HR thing was not possible because companies realized we don't have to fly everybody down. But at the same time, they're still getting used to the fact that people sit in their homes and we do a program across few weekends. So then I realized, I have one-on-one coaching already going really well. What else can I add in my offerings where I don't really have to like personally be there, but at the same time add layers? Another thing that led to this is I found a few people online who were already doing something like this, and I enrolled in a couple of courses, and I realized that um, there can be different tiers, and apparently, what I'm doing right now in one on one is supposed to be my most expensive tier. So I figured, hey, why don't I start adding the bottom tier, which is create a lot of online courses. And I think as I'm aging, I also want to have alternate streams of income. And I think having on demand courses is such a fantastic thing, given my experience. I can create courses and just have it there. And it's good for me, it's good for the people who are looking for those resources. So I think that's where this thing started, where I felt I could do a lot more work without depending on corporates or waiting for one-on-one, and create an additional income stream.
This brings you to a very interesting thought that what would happen, like since you are telling that you are aging and you might want to work less or you might want to spend some time doing more relaxation on your own end rather than just doing your business.
Yes.
Won't Suman Kher as a brand name affect you going further? Would you Are you thinking on changing that as well when you go online?
No, it's gonna be me. Why would I change it? I don't get that.
I mean, building a brand on a single person's name
Ah, okay.
is risky, right? Like that if that person disappears for a week, that brand name that brand name might get diluted, right, over the time.
I don't think I'm giving the reins of my business to anybody else as of now. But like I said, thanks to my content planning, I think you will not know that I'm not in the scene at least till the end of the month. Okay, because you're gonna still see my posts. And
Okay.
I had this running joke for the longest time saying if I died on a weekday, you will not know it until it's the weekend when you'll be like, hey, what happened to her post? You know, we didn't see her post this week, and probably you'd know, oh, I don't exist, right? So no, I don't think because even if I wouldn't say scale down. In fact, if anything, I'm looking at scaling up. And even if I have trainers and coaches with me, I think I'm still going to be very much a part of it. I still have a couple of decades in me. So, no, I don't think it's dangerous.
Okay. Okay. So what was the first challenge that you faced as a roadblock when you thought that you want to go online with the course? What was the first challenge?
Technology. I think that has always been a challenge because I think since 2016, I know that we should start an email list. Even without a product, we should start an email list. I had product services and I still don't have an email list because every time I try to learn MailChimp or get started, I also got somebody to do it, but I didn't know how it's supposed to be connected to my business. So I had a list, but I didn't know the other parts of it. Now I know other parts of it. So I'm trying to build. So I think technology has been the biggest roadblock for me because I obviously can't understand everything because I am not a tech expert. In fact, even when I started my brand in 2013, the first thing I did was to find somebody who understands WordPress. And I was like, I am going to tell you how my blog needs to look, and you need to do it because I spent a few days watching WordPressBeginner.com to understand how things work. And I'm like, you know what? This is not my job because if I'm busy setting up the website, who will create the content, which is something that only I can do, right? And even today, I try to do the same thing. If I can outsource something to somebody which is their expertise, and if they do it really well, I don't mind spending money on it because as a solo entrepreneur, that's the only way you can survive. So I think my biggest question was what learning platform to look at in order to host my courses because I hosted an online course on Udemy, which I single handedly shot and created and edited and uploaded. I think this was in 2021. I wanted to do it totally as an experiment. I wanted to see the amount of time it takes, the amount of work it takes to get that done. But in a year or so, Udemy said that people haven't enrolled a lot in the recent times. You've not made any changes, so we're removing it, and they removed it. And in the long run, I always wanted to have my own platform. So there is an LMS under WordPress. Somebody told me Edmingle. Somebody told me Kajabi. Teachable is also there. So a lot of options, etc., that kept coming, and I wanted to kind of see which is a platform that would give me what would you say that would work in the long term. That doesn't. Gumroad is another one, but I wanted to keep the transaction fee that they charge less, but at the same time have all kinds of features. So yes, technology is the biggest hurdle.
And what were the three top things that you were evaluating your platforms on? Like, what were the three criteria that you evaluated every platform on?
I still have that. I remember doing a whole Udemy versus Teachable thing in terms of the money, of course. What is the yearly cost that the number of students that they're going to allow us to have? How easy it is in terms of reaching out to students. Would they give us the database? Can we email them? Or can we not email them, right? So I think top three things. And as a non-tech person, I think the most important one is what is the easiest to understand and set up, because if I need somebody else to manage it, okay, in the long run, it may not work. So something which simply just lets me upload, let me add what are the things that you're going to learn here and be done with it. So yeah, ease of use, I think, number one.
Okay. So basically, you didn't find Teachable, Kajabi, Udemy, or anything of that sort satisfying your criteria. Am I getting it right?
Um, I wouldn't say that. Let's say I was just exploring all this when I came across the Black Friday sale and there was a lifetime offer on one of the platforms. And I said, you know what? This is so cheap for lifetime. If it doesn't work, I can do all my experimentation on this and probably move on to something else. And that's what motivated me to pick up
So
whatever I picked up.
which one was
And
this?
sorry,
Which one was this?
this is called Brain Cert. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Yeah, yeah, I have.
Okay, it's I don't know how good or bad or how popular it is, but I figured that since I'm technologically challenged and I want to do this on my own, and I watched their entire, I think, hour-long walkthrough and things. I think as an entrepreneur, not knowing technology is it's like non-negotiable. You've got to jump in and learn some basics at some point in time, right? So BrainSort worked. I think Kajabi and Teachable are mostly for people who are abroad. I know people in India also use Teachable, but like I said, the yearly outgoing is there, so I want to be very careful what I pick up. And when I got a lifetime deal, I said, let me at least start with this, right? So one time was perfectly okay, and I said, if it has all the features that I need, then it's fine. I just need people to be able to watch videos and maybe later submit their assignments.
So, are you satisfied with whatever you have today, or are there any challenges that you would want to talk about?
So right now I am on BrainSearch. They want me to get an account and pay you money. So I think I would have to do that because I'm already on Razor Pay. So I just have a free course on it. I wanted to see how the platform is, get different people there, like, validation of the first online course. But very soon I'm going to maybe join Pay You Money because that's how I can charge people in rupees. And the second thing I want to test on it is if I upload an assignment, how are people able to submit it? Because I wouldn't need just text assignments, but I would also want the capability for people to maybe record a short introduction or record whatever assignment I give them so that they can get an evaluation on it. Because a lot of communication is about doing. People have a lot of theory already, right? So I want them to have this ability to submit a sample and say, okay, all right, have I learned what I'm trying to learn? So far that's where I am right now.
Okay. So, thank you for helping us understand what were the challenges. I'll talk about the solution. Mio is the solution, basically. I'll tell
I
you.
was actually on your website. The tab is already open.
I'll tell
So
you
for take a
why.
look at it.
One, we have built in keeping in mind that non-tech folks will be able to do it easily. We've got
Okay.
to a level where you don't even have to build your own website. We give you a
So is
ready-made
that an
template.
LMS? Is
It's
Miho
an
where I
LMS.
can host? Okay.
Yeah, it's an LMS. You can have your own custom domain. You can link it to your own custom domain. Say, for example, you want to have your academy at sumancare.com/courses. That's where it opens up. You have your own landing page where you can add your own content. It's a ready-made template. You can use that if in case you want to custom
Right.
as per your need. You can do that as well. There are fillers. You just have to fill the content as per your requirements, and that should be it. Uh, Coming to the course part of it, you have three different type of assignments. You have MCQ. You have long form assignments where they can answer the question then and there. And third is file upload, the one that you talked about.
Hmm.
There is something called as live lesson. There's something called as recorded lessons also. You can have text-based lesson. You can have video-based lesson. You can have audio-based lessons as well. uh, coming to the module, if in case you're targeting three different audiences that you mentioned, you started targeting students, you're targeting a person who has 5 to 15 years of experience, then you're also targeting some other folks as well. If you want to name all three as a different academy, if you want to run this as a different academy, you have something called as workspace. You can have
Okay.
targeting for everyone. You can use integrations like Facebook Pixel, Google Pixel. You can also use something like Zapier, Pabbly. You can have Paytm, you
Okay.
can have PayUse, Razorpay, Stripe, PayPal, all of it. So we've understood the gap that this LMS has had, the gap that you mentioned very clearly, that technical understanding becomes the basic. If I'm telling a product that is meant for knowledge entrepreneurs, that should be the first one to be removed in the process. because
True.
90% of these knowledge entrepreneurs are non-tech folks. They're very good at what they
Yes.
do, but
Yes.
that does not mean they have should be learning something that you want them to learn. Rather than it should be handy with them. So that's what
Yeah.
ideology we built it with from.
Okay.
So yeah, you can check out our product and
I'll do that.
let us.
Technology like this actually makes people like me feel older than probably we should be because I'm like, oh my God, this is way too much, you know. So I have
Exactly,
a
it
lot of
becomes
students
overwhelming
intern.
at times.
It does. It does. In fact, I have a lot of student interns working for me over a period of time because these kids, technology comes as a second nature to them, whether it is
Ah,
designing or researching. I've had, in fact, I prefer students for something like this because, of course, they don't charge you more, but they're so hands on with
true.
all these things. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Makes sense. Makes sense. I think this really helps a lot of folks out there. I really learned myself LinkedIn marketing, LinkedIn posting. I'll try to implement those. You were able to help knowledge entrepreneurs to understand what are the kind of challenges they should expect and not feel overwhelmed out, and some way figure out a solution for that as well in a way. One of the solution obviously being Miho. Like if in case anybody wants any help, we are more than so. One thing that comes as a plus one with us is since we are a smaller company as compared to the likes you named, we're more than accessible to everyone. We are more than happy to help everyone. We are more than happy to take up your load and do it at our end, right? So that
So
becomes
you offer help in terms of setting things up as well
yeah,
as what
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, I think that is something that people would really appreciate.
Exactly, exactly. I think that's it. Like the last two questions that I ask everyone. One, what is that one quote that you carry always and that has really helped you grow as a person, what you are today? And second, name a book that you would definitely recommend everyone to vouch upon.
You're asking what is that one code?
Quote.
Quote. Okay, so my favorite quote is it's not whether you fall down, it's whether you get up again. Because I think we will fall down at so many times in our lives, but if you
And
give up, then you give up. But it's about whether you get up again. That's absolutely important. What book would I recommend? Oh my God, so many books. I think for everybody, it would be Blink by Malcolm Gladwell because I think that talks so much about the real implications of the subconscious mind. For women, The Confidence Code by Katty Kay, and there's one more author. I think that's a must read for every woman. So maybe I'll talk about two books.
sure, sounds good. Thank you, Suman. Thanks a lot for joining us. Thanks a
My
lot for helping
pleasure.
us out. I'll be more than happy to help you back. And also, an open question to all in the community: if in case you're feeling overwhelmed with tech, you have someone to be the part of and sympathize with. And if you need any help, I'm more than happy to help as well. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Yeah,
Yes, seek help. That's important with technology.
exactly.
All right. Thank you